So we saw Zero Dark 30, directed by Catherine Bigelow, starring Jessica Chastain, with a budget of $40 million.
Okay, so the hunt for Osama bin Laden. Very, very exciting stuff. It involves a lot of desk jobs and things of that nature. Doesn't exactly make for the most entertaining movie, especially when it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
8 years of desk jobs and
8 years, yeah, and then 10 minutes of a raid. So cool.
Yeah, so if you're expecting action,
right,
it's not gonna happen.
No, yeah, and and of course I wasn't expecting action, and I'm sure neither were you. For me, I felt that I couldn't follow exactly what was going on. There was never a sense of myself as the moviegoer being or feeling invested, because I just didn't understand how this guy leads to this guy who leads to this guy who leads to Osama bin Laden. And so they're talking to him about this thing, and, but it's like, I don't know that stuff, so it doesn't exactly lead for very much excitement, which it's supposed to, you're supposed to be engrossed in, like, how this happened. If you're like me and you don't really understand how they're getting from one stepping stone to the next, not to mention it jumps between years like they're like nothing. It felt disjointed and less interesting because of it. I understand they had to cover all the details and stuff, and you definitely want to do the story justice, but whether or not it works as far as entertainment goes, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, why I didn't think it was that interesting, and I understand what you're saying, is that I went into this movie expecting to learn something relevant or, interesting about the hunt for Osama bin Laden, and really, it wasn't anything that you could relate to at all. It was mainly just tracking this guy and tracking this guy and tracking this guy. I thought it'd be something relevant to, the U.S., to my life, which is partly why I saw this movie, because it was supposed to be, have some relevance. And the movie banked on you being engaged and interested because, you wanted them to catch Osama bin Laden. You were really, you really care about catching this terrorist. The assumption that the audience would care that much about it was wrong. And that's why I wasn't as interested as I could have been.
Right. Aesthetically, I started to get so sick of seeing them in the same places. Really, none of these characters that are in this film, the writers didn't even try to let you get to know them or be invested in them as people. Everyone's doing their job.
Yeah, and I just feel like as you were saying, you can't connect with many of the characters, and I feel like there's not much humanity to this movie, really, because it's trying to present it in kind of a historical light.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, it's fine, but there's no character development. So really, there's nothing to become attached to, and it's just it was almost like watching the news or watching an episode of Law and Order, where it's just the facts that are presented to you there. And
the acting is totally, I hate to say it, but it is pretty mediocre. No one does anything that kind of stands out here. Even the lead is not very good. It was just kind of annoying because she is the lead, and then everyone else is kind of, background characters that help her when she needs the help and moves the narrative forward. But other than that, they serve no other purpose. So when some of these characters die or when some of them disappear, you don't care, but you're also kind of confused because you're where did they go or how did that happen? It's super journalistic.
Yeah, I think so.
The thing I have to give it credit for is its realism, and it sticks to its guns as far as being realistic goes. So that's very commendable.
I think that I probably liked the acting a little bit more than you did. I think that some of the best acting actually came from some of the characters who were not main characters, like the guy who was being tortured. He didn't have that many lines, but you felt really bad for him. Well, I can see how there were some points when the main actress, Jessica Chastain, was on screen where she did not deliver, when she was trying to, be emotional and she was crying at the end. That didn't work for me, but I liked her character in the sense that, I got the sense that she was actually a person who was really committed to this, was maybe obsessing over it, not getting enough sleep. She looked like she'd been up for 2 days in some of the scenes. And I think she was a really strong character, like a strong female character. But the acting was good, but not great by any means.
Just the fact that she is nominated for Best Actress just seems strange to me. I just honestly I don't understand it because although it wasn't terrible acting by any means, and she definitely as an actress has huge potential, it just wasn't Oscar worthy whatsoever.
Not at all.
All right, ratings.
Yeah, so honestly, I went into this. I had really high expectations. I'm not gonna knock it for being kind of a disappointment, but I think it's pretty inferior to the Hurt Locker, and that's kind of where I was setting my bar for this.
Without question.
Yeah. So it was good. It wasn't great. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5. A good time.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7. It was very well done. It was just not as interesting as I thought it would be. I thought I would be very interested in it, but really, I guess I just don't like watching people sitting at their desks for 2 hours and 20 minutes. So a 7, yeah, that's a mid rental.